Video title: My daughter sold my late wife's necklace to pay for a trip. Then the buyer called me, your wife. I thought the necklace was gone forever. A quiet sacrifice. A small betrayal I told myself I could forgive. But when my phone rang at 11:47 p.m., and a stranger whispered, your wife, she didn't give this to your daughter. The air in my lungs turned cold. And everything I believed about my family began to crack. I'm not the kind of man who believes objects hold souls. But that necklace did. It was a thin gold chain with a teardrop pendant, nothing flashy. To anyone else, it looked ordinary. To me, it was the last warm thing my wife ever placed in my palm. She gave it to me on our 10th anniversary. We were younger then, still arguing about money, still dreaming loudly. She laughed as she clasped it around her own neck and said, if I ever lose my voice, this will remember me. She passed away 6 years later. Cancer doesn't announce itself like in movies. It slips in quietly, steals time, and leaves behind rooms that feel too large. After the funeral, the necklace became untouchable. I couldn't bring myself to lock it away, but I also couldn't bear to see it every day. So I kept it in a small wooden box in the back of my closet, under winter coats that still smelled faintly of her perfume. My daughter, Sarah, knew about it. She was 16 when her mother died. Old enough to understand loss, young enough to be reshaped by it. In those early months, it was just the two of us, awkward dinners, half-finished sentences, shared grief we didn't know how to name. We leaned on each other. I thought we were surviving together. Years passed. Sarah grew into herself. She became sharper, louder, more restless. She talked about travel, about escaping this city, this life. I encouraged her. I wanted her to feel alive again. That's probably where I made my first mistake. It was a Tuesday evening when she told me about the necklace. She stood in the kitchen, arms crossed, eyes fixed on the floor. I remember the way she sighed before speaking, like she was bracing for impact. Dad, I sold Mom's necklace. The words didn't make sense at first. They floated between us, meaningless sounds. You what? I asked. She rushed through the explanation. A friend was organizing a trip, something about coastal towns, finding inspiration. She didn't have enough money. She knew the necklace was valuable. She said she thought I'd understand. I didn't shout. I didn't cry. I just sat down. My chest felt hollow, like something had been carefully removed without anesthesia. You should have asked me, I said quietly. She nodded, tears forming, but they felt rehearsed. I was scared you'd say no. I wanted to tell her that the necklace wasn't just gold. That it was a memory, a promise, a piece of someone she barely remembered now. But I didn't. I told myself grief looks different on everyone. Who did you sell it to? I asked. A dealer, she said. Online. He paid fair. She avoided my eyes. That night, after she went to bed, I stood in front of the open closet for a long time. The wooden box was empty. Lighter than it should have been. I told myself to forgive her. To let go. But something didn't sit right. Over the next few weeks, I noticed changes. Small ones. She became secretive with her phone. Defensive when I asked simple questions. She laughed more, but not with me. It was like she'd learned a new version of herself and was trying it on without telling me. One evening, I overheard her arguing softly in her room. Her door was half closed. I already sold it, she hissed. No, I told you. He didn't suspect anything. My heart slowed. I didn't confront her. I didn't want to become a man who spies on his own child. But the trust I'd built my life on had started to thin, like ice in early spring. Then came the call. It was late. The house was quiet. I was halfway asleep when my phone buzzed on the nightstand. An unknown number. I almost ignored it. Hello, I said, my voice thick. There was a pause. Breathing. Someone deciding whether to speak. I'm sorry to call so late, a man said. His voice was calm, measured. But I believe you're the husband of the woman who once owned a gold teardrop necklace. My pulse spiked. Yes, I said slowly. Who is this? I bought the necklace recently. From your daughter. I sat up. There's something you should know, he continued. Your wife, she didn't give that necklace to her. My mouth went dry. What do you mean? I asked. Another pause. Longer this time. I recognized the engraving inside the clasp, he said. It's not something you forget once you've seen it. My wife had engraved the necklace herself. A small, uneven script on the inside. No one else knew about it. Not even Sarah. How do you know that? I whispered. Because the man said, lowering his voice, your wife came to me once. Years ago, and she asked me to keep it safe. The room tilted. That's not possible, I said. She was sick. She didn't. She was scared, he interrupted gently. And she didn't trust everyone around her. My hand tightened around the phone. What are you saying? I asked. There was silence on the other end. Heavy. Deliberate. I think, the man said finally, that necklace was never meant to be sold. And I don't think your daughter was supposed to have it. My heart began to race. Before I could ask another question, the line went dead. I stared at the phone, my reflection dark and unfamiliar in the screen. Somewhere down the hall, Sarah turned in her sleep. And for the first time since my wife's funeral, I felt the unmistakable sense that the truth had been buried, not with her, but inside my own home. I didn't sleep that night. Every sound in the house felt louder than it should have been. The ticking clock, the refrigerator hum, the faint creak of the hallway floorboards as the house settled. I kept replaying the man's words in my head, each sentence peeling back something I wasn't ready to see. Your wife didn't trust everyone around her. By morning, my eyes burned, but my mind was sharp in a way it hadn't been for years. Grief dulls you. It softens the edges of memory. But that call had sharpened everything. Sarah came into the kitchen just after 8, already dressed, hair pulled back, phone in her hand. She froze when she saw me sitting at the table. You're up early, she said. I didn't sleep, I replied. She nodded, too quickly. Me neither. We stood there, a familiar distance between us that suddenly felt enormous. Sit, I said. She hesitated, then sat across from me. I watched her the way I used to watch her mother, looking for the truth in the pauses, in what wasn't said. I got a call last night, I said. Her fingers tightened around her phone. Just a little. About the necklace. Her eyes flicked up, then away. The man who bought it, I continued. He knew things he shouldn't have known. She swallowed. Dad, I already told you. He said your mother gave it to him, I said softly. Years ago. For safekeeping. The color drained from her face. That's impossible, she said, but her voice didn't carry conviction. Mom wouldn't. She was sick, I said. But she was still thinking. Still planning. Sarah shook her head. You're letting a stranger mess with your head. Am I asked, because he knew about the engraving. The one inside the clasp. Did you know about that? She didn't answer. The silence stretched, fragile and trembling. He also said she was scared, I added. And that she didn't trust everyone around her. Sarah stood abruptly. This is insane. You're choosing to believe him over me. I'm choosing to listen, I said. There's a difference. She left the room, the door to her bedroom closing with a soft but final click. That afternoon, I called the number back. It rang twice before the man answered. I was hoping you'd call, he said. Tell me everything, I replied. No half-truths. He told me his name was Elias. He owned a small antiques business. Nothing glamorous, mostly heirlooms people didn't know how to let go of. He said my wife came to him 2 months before she died. She was thin, he said. But clear, very clear. He explained that she believed someone close to her might sell the necklace once she was gone. Not out of malice, but out of need. Or ignorance. She asked me to hold onto it, he said. Until you came for it yourself. Why didn't she tell me? I asked. Elias paused. She said you already carried enough. That sounded like her. But Sarah sold it to you, I said. Why didn't you refuse? I did, he said. At first. But she insisted it was hers. She was convincing. Convincing. That word echoed painfully. So why call me now? I asked. Because when I examined it again, he said, I found something tucked behind the pendant. Something your wife hid. My breath caught. What? A note, he said. Folded so small I almost missed it. My hands trembled. What does it say? I think, he said carefully, you should read it yourself. We met the next day. Elias's shop smelled like dust and old paper. He handed me the necklace across the counter, reverently, like returning something sacred. The moment it touched my skin, my throat tightened. Behind the pendant, just as he said, was a thin, yellowed slip of paper. My wife's handwriting. If you are reading this, it means I was right to be afraid. My vision blurred. This necklace is not meant to be sold. It is proof. I didn't want to burden you while I was alive. I thought I had time. Proof. Of what? The note ended there. No names. No accusations. Just a warning suspended in time. Did she ever say more? I asked Elias. She said, he replied, that families can hurt you without meaning to. and sometimes without knowing. When I got home, Sarah was packing. "Where are you going?" I asked. She didn't turn around. "On my trip." "With what money?" I asked. She froze. I held up the necklace. Her shoulders sagged. "You lied," I said. Not angrily, just truthfully. She turned, eyes wet. "I didn't know what it was," she said. "I swear, I thought it was just jewelry." "Did you read the note?" I asked. Her silence was answer enough. "I didn't open it," she said finally. I was afraid. That word again. I looked at her, really looked at her. A young woman shaped by loss, by longing, by mistakes she didn't fully understand. "She trusted me," I said quietly. "Your mother trusted me to find this." "I didn't mean to betray you," Sarah said, tears spilling now. "I just wanted to leave. I wanted to feel something different." I nodded. "I know. The betrayal wasn't sharp. It was dull, lingering, the kind that settles into your bones." I didn't stop her from going on her trip. That surprised her. It surprised me too. Some lessons need distance. That night, I placed the necklace back in its wooden box, but not in the closet. I set it on my desk, where I could see it. The truth hadn't destroyed my family, but it had changed it. And as I turned off the light, I realized something my wife must have known all along. Love doesn't prevent betrayal, it just makes surviving it possible.